I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water. Okay? So don't go anywhere. We'll get started in just a second. Okay. Hello, hello. Hello, Gaia. Hello, Amazing Talker. Hello, Libra. Hello, Walid. Hello, Fang. Hello, Reza and Hunis. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Ma. And Jaja and Homer and Nancy and Nisiro. And oh, I don't remember that Chinese character, but hello to my Chinese friend with a Chinese name who I can't read, whose name I can't read. My Chinese reading is really terrible. It really is. I really should fix that one day. One day. I just never practice. I should. Okay. You feel lost in learning English. Well, Libra, you've been learning for a while, right? So when you say you feel lost, you don't know where to start, you already started, so you've already started. So maybe the problem is probably that you just don't have a plan that's consistent enough. You don't have a method or a plan that's consistent enough. So, because you don't really have a plan, it's like you're traveling without a map. You have a general direction, but you don't really know where you're going. You need to draw a map or get a map, you know? So, drawing a map means you sit down and make a plan. How am I going to get to my destination? Right? So, really, I think you probably need to sit down and do that. And think about think about the 8 parts of language that I talk about all the time. Right? Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Make a plan for each one of those. Okay? After a few minutes, I will have my breakfast. Yeah, that's pretty much correct. That's pretty much correct. Yeah. You should capitalize the J, and you really don't need to say just after. You can just say after a few minutes or in a few minutes. In a few minutes might be better. Okay? After is not wrong, but you need to say after a few minutes or in a few minutes, I will have my breakfast. And you need to capitalize the J or get rid of the just. and capitalize the A. And then you need to make a comma after minutes, and then capitalize the I. Remember, Waleed, every time you practice something in a lazy way, it's like you're practicing the wrong things. So every time you're too lazy to write the capital I, you're practicing telling yourself that that's okay. And that means that maybe one day you will write an email, and it's an important email, and you should use the perfect language, but you'll be lazy because you practiced being lazy. So Waleed, I want you to start caring more about language all the time. Okay, I know you want to be really good. So if you really want to be good, then you should always try to use it at the level that you can use it. That means that you shouldn't use it below your level. If you're able to write really well, then you should all the time. Okay? When you're learning a language. Okay? So, okay, next question. Hello, gatita. Hola. How am I? I am fine. Let's see. Do we need to be careful about pronunciation changes between nouns and verbs when speaking, such as graduate, present, object? So kind of, but not really. If you say the wrong one, people will probably know. They will know. All right? And they will correct you, and that's okay. That's a mistake that I think, that's a mistake that if you're not a native and you make that mistake, I think any native will not be bothered by that mistake. They will understand that, yeah, it's easy to get confused between graduate and graduate, and present and present, and object and to object, right? There's different pronunciations change the word, right? Combat and combat, right? But if you say the wrong one, sure, it matters, but more than likely they will still know what you mean, and someone will just correct you. And that's how we learn. Hunis, that's how we learn the right way to say which one, right? Just by hearing it, okay? Let me give you an example from my life in Chinese, okay? Chinese is a tonal language, so that means you really have to care about exactly how you say the words, because you can say one word two different ways and it will change the meaning completely. All right? So in Chinese, the word 睡觉 is sleep. But 水饺 is dumpling. So you have to be careful. Now, I made many pronunciation mistakes. Maybe I would say, maybe I would say 我要睡觉 when I meant 我要睡觉. And those are two different things. One is I want sleep, and the other is I want dumplings. So, how did I learn? I learned by making mistakes. I said it the wrong way, and someone would correct me. And the more you do that, the more you hear the right way. Your ears have to hear it wrong so that it can hear it right. Okay? And your ears, the way your ears learn is by hearing the mistake. So if you never speak the mistake, you don't give your ears an opportunity to learn. Okay? So say it. And if it's wrong, okay, fine, it's wrong, and you'll figure it out. Now that you've said it the wrong way, you can learn the right way. All right? Sometimes you guys, you won't take a chance unless it's perfect, and that's not the way to learn. When you're learning, it's about taking chances. It's not about perfection. It's not about doing it exactly right the first time. Okay? Hello, Alyssa. So, Libra. Sometimes you do need to take a break away from learning, or you need to shift gears, Libra. So, for example, maybe I studied drums for so long and I was really focused on this very, very difficult technical thing in drumming, and eventually I get kind of burned out or bored or frustrated with it. So maybe I take a break from that, and maybe for the next week or month, I focus just on listening. I listen to music and I just enjoy the music, and I think about the music, and I try to use my ears as a tool of learning, right? So you take a break from one and you shift to another. Burnout in learning is because you're doing the same thing over and over again, the same way over and over again. But if you keep learning fresh, right? So I told you there are 8 different ways you can think about English learning: reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, right? You can think about each one of those as a different way. Then you can think about, okay, well, what kind of reading can I do? Oh, I can read this kind of reading, short stories. I can read poetry. I can read books. I can read articles. I can read comics. I can read manga. I can read many different things. And writing, what kind of writing can I do? I can do poetry. I can write a story. I can write a diary. I can write a letter to my grandma. I can write, that's writing, right? So I'm trying to say that keeping learning fresh is about keeping learning varied. Keeping learning fresh is about keeping learning varied. Okay? And then the concept of overlearning. Overlearning means trying to learn the same thing in different ways. Right? So you think about one idea, and then you think about how many different ways can I learn that one idea. That's called overlearning. And that's the most effective method of learning. And Libra, then the other thing about learning is you need to remember anyone can climb a mountain, but anyone will climb that mountain better if they know why. Right? If I just say, hey, climb that mountain, you can do it. But if I say, hey, your mom is sick and she broke her leg at the top of that mountain, now you have a motivation to climb that mountain. Or if I say, hey, if you get to that top of the mountain, there's $1 million up there. Now you have a motivation to get to the top of that mountain. So you need to know what your motivations are in order to give yourself the fuel and energy you need to get to the top of the mountain. All right? But also, Libra, sometimes you need to take a break, and that's okay too. All right? Sometimes when you take a break and then you come back to it, everything feels fresh and new, and you're excited about it again. All right? Tear and tear. Yes, that one is also another one, Sandra. That's correct. Embarrassing moments stick in our memory the most. Why not take advantage of it? That's exactly right, Sandra. I teach that exact thing here. I tell people that your brain doesn't like normal things. Your brain doesn't like common things. It doesn't like boring things. So if you write a sentence and you say, a new word, you're learning a new word, like the word is headphones, right? So you could write a simple sentence that says, I need to buy some new headphones. All right, fine. But that's boring. But if you write a sentence that says, I'm going to catch a squirrel with my new headphones. Now I've created a strange picture in your mind. I've created this weird image of me running around with a pair of headphones trying to catch a squirrel. All right? It's about tricking your brain. Give your brain something good to remember. All right? So yes, embarrassment is another one of those things that, we remember our embarrassing moments, so why not use that? Yeah, well said. How do you create motivation for yourself? Well, that's different for everybody. Everybody has a different why. You have to think about it. Why are you learning English? What's the point? Maybe you're just doing it for fun. Maybe you just do it because it's interesting. That's fine. Maybe you're doing it because you want to get a better job, or you want to travel, or you want to go study in the US or the UK. Maybe you play video games with your friends around the world and English is the language they use, so it would make your video game playing better. Maybe you're taking the IELTS test. There are many reasons why people do something. You have to think about why you are. And if you don't know why, create some reasons for yourself. Think about what this could do for you. All right? And remember that if you guys haven't seen it yet, there's a video on my YouTube. It's only 8 minutes, okay? But it's a video that will explain, it will motivate you about learning language, because it will make you think completely differently about what language is. Language is empowerment, okay? So there's a video on my YouTube. Here, let me give you the link. Wait a minute, I'll pull it up. Let's see. Wait a minute. I have it right here. It's called The Magical Power of Language. I posted it on my Moments, but I will give it to you here as well. Yes, it's on my YouTube, but this is it right here. That's the link to this video, okay? And this is all about motivation. This is all about understanding. You don't understand what language is. And that's why you are bored. That's why you don't take it that seriously. You really don't understand what you are doing. You think, oh, I'm learning a language. You are not. You are learning magic. You are learning to be a wizard of words. Let me ask you a question. 2,000 years ago, if you can't read, most people 2,000 years ago could not read, right? Most people, maybe 2% could read. So that means, who writes the laws? If you can't write and you can't read, that's not you. You don't write the laws. That's power. Okay? So who gets to say what things mean? If you can't write, then you can't determine the meaning. You can't claim the meaning. The person who can write it down, that's the person whose meaning will last forever. So you can say, well, I think this means this, and you can talk about it all day long. But the person who gets to write it down, that's the one who their meaning is going to last. So writing is power. Language is power. Think about who are the most famous people in the world to you? Who are the most famous people for their ideas? Think about that. Tell me a name of somebody, anyone from any culture, who is famous for their ideas. Confucius, Kongzi. If he couldn't write, he wouldn't be famous. John F. Kennedy, those words, ask not what you can do, what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Those are powerful words, and that motivates people. When you say words in a way that people go, wow, that was powerful, that's magic. That's magic. So when you say it's hard, of course it's hard. Of course it's hard. It's magic. What you are learning is magic. Do you know who Martin Luther is? Who is Martin Luther? Not Martin Luther King. I mean Martin Luther. Who is Martin Luther? The reform of the church. That's exactly right. And do you know why he was famous? He was famous because he said, oh, here's the Latin Bible. The Bible is written in Latin, and the church said only Latin. You're not allowed to translate to any other language. But he translated it to German. Why? Because when you translate it to German, that's the common language of the common people, and now they have the power of it, not the people who held the power. They held the power with the language that only they knew. But he broke their power by giving them the language. Do you understand? This is power. So I'm trying to teach you that language gives you the ability to benefit from the world and to benefit the world. So you can benefit from the world more by being able to express what you need. And you can benefit the world more by being able to give the world your ideas in a well-expressed manner. All right? So go watch that video, please. Go watch that video, and maybe that will give you some motivation about what we're doing here. And it'll help you remember that, of course, it's hard. You're learning magic. Magic is hard, of course. Duh. And there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts to becoming a wizard. No. Okay? All right, let's see. Let me see. What's the next question? Did I watch The Great Gatsby? What do I think the reason why Gatsby failed to find his dream finally? Well, I have not seen the movie. I did read the book, but that was in high school a long time ago. So I would have to review the book for me to give a good assessment about why he failed his dream finally. I don't recall. It's too early. Have I posted other videos on YouTube? Gaia, there are like 1,000 videos on YouTube. They're all like this. They're just my live streams. All of my Hello Talk live streams are on YouTube. There must be 1,000 of them or more. And you like that book, I Think That Is Not the Real Dream. Well, that book was written, the time period that it was written about was a time period that is you're right. It's not like that anymore. Well, actually, in some ways it is. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's some of it is accurate and some of it is not. That's all books. I took the IELTS exam to go to Italy to study. However, the embassy was closed in Iran, and now I endeavor to persuade myself to continue it. Okay. So, Reza, you already started down the path. You may as well keep going. You know? Marco, hello, Marco. What about Sigmund Freud? And I agree with Libra that the movie probably doesn't really do a good job of conveying the meaning of that book. It's better to read it. How can you manage to learn two languages, Chinese and Japanese, in parallel? Scarus, do you have to? Why do you have to? You know, a lot of people come here and they keep asking me this question. Can I learn two languages at the same time? Of course you can. You can. But why do you need to and why do you want to? And is it a good idea? If you ask me, can I walk across the desert while I carry this giant backpack? Sure, you can cross the desert with a backpack with 300 pounds on it. You can. It's possible you could. Is it a good idea? No. It's not a good idea to carry a 300-pound backpack through the desert. It's possible, but it's not a good idea. All right? Now, if you have to, then you must create a method. Learning one is already hard, but learning two will be much harder. There are some similarities in Chinese and Japanese in the characters. Some characters of kanji are the same as the Chinese characters, but that doesn't, the pronunciation is completely different. Right? So the character might be similar, but the way they say it is not. Okay, or it'll be changed quite a bit. Like, for example, in Japanese, the word for fried dumpling is gyoza, but that word actually comes from the Japanese word jiaozi, which was a dumpling, a Chinese dumpling. Okay, and let's see. One moment, sorry. Okay, next question. How to motivate yourself to do something you're so lazy. You know what the easiest way is? I'll tell you what the easiest way is. The easiest way is for me to do this. Don't be lazy. Get off your butt. Go do it. That is the easiest way to deal with being lazy and procrastination. You need someone to yell at you. Honestly, it's really what you need. You need someone to yell at you every once in a while and say, "What's wrong with you? Get off your butt. Go do it." All right? So that's number one. Number two is you have to ask yourself, Do you care about it or not? Do you really care about it or not? If you don't care about it, fine, then don't care about it. But don't lie to yourself, because the lies you tell yourself, those are the worst lies. You say, oh, I'm serious about learning. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious. No, you're not. You're lying to yourself. This above all, to thine own self be true. Shakespeare. And I was speaking about Freud. Oh, changing with words. Freud invented a new... Yeah, right. Freud, he kind of made us look at language in a different way, that language was a window into the mind, that if you listen to the language of someone, you can really tell a lot about their deep underlying being, right? You can learn more about who they are subconsciously if you pay attention to their words carefully, especially when they make slips. Freudian slips, they're called. You used to ask the teacher about the American dream. Yeah, the American dream is... everybody's dream is a nightmare right now. Everybody's dream is a nightmare right now. Do you know what a nightmare is? Do you know what the word nightmare it means? Nightmare, the word mare, a long time ago, it was a little demon. It was a demon that would come, and when you were sleeping, it would sit on your chest and it would steal your breath. And when it was stealing your breath, that's when you were having the bad dreams and bad thoughts. That's where the word nightmare comes from. It was a monster that would land on your chest and steal your breath. Motivation is the gift you give yourself. If you want motivation, give yourself that gift. You know, honestly, being a teacher is great for one reason, because when you're a teacher, you are a student and you are a teacher, right? Because every teacher is a student. Every teacher must learn. So most teachers, they have this dual personality. And one of them is the student and one of them is the teacher. So when I'm learning, sometimes I have to pretend that I am the student. Well, no, sometimes I'm the student and I am learning, but I have to pretend like that I'm also the teacher at the same time. And the teacher will look at me and say, man, what are you doing? Quit looking at your phone and focus. You have to be two people at once. You have to be able to look at yourself and judge yourself as a teacher would judge you. Be a teacher to yourself. Okay? Let me check over here in my YouTube. Hello, Miguel. How are you, my friend? He's the father of psychology. Well, he's not exactly the father of psychology. He's a very important figure. He used to be called the father of modern psychology, but I think that that's a very big overstatement. There were many, many people who played a big role in modern psychology. My dad is a psychologist. I grew up with Freud books. I remember at least one. I think maybe my brother actually had that. Maybe that wasn't even my dad. I can't remember now. Okay, let's see. Happy Chinese New Year to all of my Chinese followers, and Lunar New Year to all the people in Asia, and happy Ramadan Kareem. Is it, I still say that now? Yeah, now. And you guys are probably fasting now, right? How can you join the fan club? Follow, subscribe. Just click on my profile picture and click subscribe and follow. Hello, Dima. How are you? Can I recommend a good dictionary? Zohal, I usually use the dictionary.com app. So remember I told you about thesaurus.com? Well, thesaurus.com has an app where, look, it's two apps in one. Up here is dictionary.com, and then next to it is thesaurus.com. So if I need a dictionary, I click on the dictionary and I type in, let's say, curious. So here's the dictionary definition of curious, right? But then if I just click the next button over to thesaurus, now I can look at all of the words that are related to thesaurus. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know, it's really blurry, I know. But anyway, so that's what I use, is the dictionary.com, thesaurus.com app. That's my dictionary. All right. Hello, Diego. Hello, Isa. What's the difference between travel, trip, and journey? Okay, let me think about that for a moment. So journey is a word that we don't use too often. It's kind of got a sense of romantic adventure to it. You know, I'm going on a journey, right? Journey to the center of the earth, you know. The word journey, it's got this kind of romantic quality to it, like you're going on this massively long trip that has serious important value, okay? So we don't use that word too often. We use it, you know, when we're trying to be very romantic about something, you know. If you say, you know, like, oh, I'm going to travel to Asia and I'm going to go all over the countries, many different places, you know, maybe you'll say, I'm taking a journey to Asia. Okay, fine. That's a little more epic. It's big. Fine. But mostly trip and travel are the more common words we use. So I'm taking a trip. To take a trip is to travel. Okay? A trip, let me take a look at that really quickly. Where does that come from? Oh, I remember now. Interesting. Wait a minute, I'm reading. A short journey of Let me see. Please give me a moment. So, the word trip, originally, the very first meaning of the word trip meant a quick, fast, nimble movement, like a dancing movement. Okay? So, originally, the word trip comes from an Old English word trippen, which meant to move nimbly or quickly. Okay? But then later, the meaning changed from quick movement to maybe you moved too quickly, and because you moved too quickly, you stumbled. That's to trip. Okay? And then the meaning to trip like you you quickly stumbled from one place to another, that's to trip, became a trip was like when you went on a voyage that was quick from one place to another. Okay, so the word trip began as a word that meant a dance movement. Then it changed and it became about falling from one short place to another. And then one short place to another became traveling, a trip. Okay? So traveling is the most general term. It describes any movement from one place to another is traveling. Okay? But a trip comes from the idea of a voyage or you're going someplace. And it used to have the meaning that it was a short place, but it doesn't necessarily have any meaning of shortness anymore. Okay? Yeah, let me write it in the chat. Hold on. Wait, let me try this. Dictionary.com. And again, if you just go to, let's see. Let's see, do they have a link for the app here somewhere? Oh, that's weird. Okay, so look, you can look here. Dictionary.com is a website, and it's free. So you can use the website if you can't get the app. Okay, and again, up here, this is the dictionary.com, but if you go right over here and click on here, now you also have a thesaurus, all in one place. Okay, so like here, look, somebody looked up the word run. Okay, so let's look up run. You know the word run, but what about break? To break also can mean to run. He broke for the woods. Break fast means to move quickly from one place to another, not to eat in the morning. To race, to rush, to spurt, to amble, to bound, to canter, to dart, to dash, to drop, to escape, to fall, to flight. And you can click on each one of these, right? So click on race, and now you can look up race, and you can hear it, and you can see examples, okay? So this is what I usually use is dictionary.com and thesaurus.com, okay? So that's one you can do. But you can also, you can look online, look on the App Store. Look on the App Store and look for, it should look like, let me see if I can show you. It looks like this. Okay, that's dictionary.com, the app, if you find the App Store. Okay, that's the logo. Okay. Okay, and next question. Good morning, Lynn. Hello, Gatita from Peru. Oh, you're in Peru, not in Spain. What about vacation? So yeah, vacation is a little bit different. In America, when we say I'm going on a vacation, it means a short trip to someplace for leisure, right? For not for work. That's not a vacation. That's a business trip, right? So if you're going to the beach for fun, that is a vacation, okay? And let's see. The word vacation comes from the old French word vacation, which comes from the Latin word vacationem, which means leisure, freedom, free from duty. So this word goes all the way back to the Roman Empire when the soldiers were free from duty. They didn't have to do anything for work, so they could go do something, could travel somewhere. Okay? Business trip, business vacation, business journey. So we say business trip. We do not say business vacation, and we wouldn't say business journey either. That would be weird. So we would always say business trip. Yeah. So vacation, though, the difference, though, is in England, in UK, they say I'm going on holiday. For them, the term on holiday means vacation. Okay, it means to go for leisure somewhere. Okay, but the word holiday in the United States does not mean vacation. The word holiday in the United States only means a day of celebration for a festival or some sort of, important day. That's a holiday. And the word holiday, what does holiday mean? The word holiday means holy day. It was a holy day originally. Okay, obviously today holidays are not all religious, but the word holiday comes from the word that means holy day. Okay, let's see now. And then, what's the difference in the pronunciation between Greece, and grace? So the first two are the same, Cesar. The country of Greece is pronounced exactly like the oil, Greece oil, okay? And then the last one is grace, A-A-A, a long A, big mouth, okay? So E is like a smile, E, Greece. Okay, but grace is a big open mouth, okay? Business fun, right? I know. Who has fun on business? Okay, Mary wants to talk to me. Mary, are you still there? Do you want to talk to me? I'll talk to somebody if you want to come on stage. People think I'm rude because I don't talk to people. I have been told that I am rude. You don't talk to people on stage. You're rude. Okay, so let's see. Mary, let's try Mary. Mary, are you ready? Would you like to talk to me? You don't have to, but you can. Ooh, too loud. Okay, Mary's maybe a little too shy. That's fine. What about Homer? Oh! Come on, Homer. Hello, Homer.
Hey, Al.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Nice to meet you, too. And you are in China. 新年快乐.
Thanks. 新年快乐. Actually, it's Spring Festival right now.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay.
in,
And you are in what city?
I'm in Fujian province,
Fujian.
Sanming City.
Okay. All right. And
So,
what can I do for you today? How can I help you? Do you have a question for me or something I can help you with?
first question. What's the time there right now?
11:07 a.m. So right now we are 13 hours apart from China. But
Yeah.
in about a month, it's going to change because our hours will change back again. So in I think it's March 2nd. I think it's March 2nd when the time will change here, and then it will be exactly 12 hours difference between here and Beijing.
Oh.
So right now it's
So
13 hours, but next month it'll be 12.
okay. I was wondering, Teacher Mark, how long have you been, working here or doing this as a part-time job in Hello Talk?
I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I
Wow.
have been live streaming for more than 5 years. I was the first. I'm pretty sure I was the first one they asked to do live streams. So I've been here since the beginning of live streams on Hello Talk.
Mm.
About 5 or 6 years, something like that. But I've been teaching. I started teaching English in 2009, and I started teaching in 1994.
Whoa. That's such a long time. And
Yeah.
let me have a brief introduction about myself. I was graduated from the university in China in 2013, and I have been studying English for maybe more than 20 years, like that. And most of the time, I think Chinese are like that kind of opportunities or language environment to use this language to say in their working life or in their daily life. So we are sometimes cannot speak this language where comparing with another countries like India or even Bangladesh. Because I encounter some friends online on some social media from those countries, especially on Facebook. After I talk to them, I guess on average, their language ability is much better comparing with my colleagues or friends
Mm-hmm.
around me because
Mm-hmm.
I happen to know some good friends from Hello Talk and becoming like language partners for maybe more than 5 years, and I improve a lot. So I know you have worked here in Hello Talk for quite a long time. Do you think those social media is really useful, or do you think find someone who you can talk to is is more like can improve your language ability? Because I think nowadays in Chinese social media we have the rate note, like those social media have so many influencers. They they sell their products like English class online, and but I guess it's not such a useful way because language is hard to learn. So, as a foreigner, do you have some specific advice for foreigners to practice their language? Do you think finding a language partner is more, practical or useful comparing with just listening to those classes online?
So is it useful? Sure, of course it's useful. But
Mm.
some people will be more useful than other people, and it requires a good investment of time to get a good partner, because Hello Talk is not a place to find a free teacher, except for me. But the rest of the people here are not teachers; they're just regular people, and they are not
Mm.
special. They don't. Most of the people who are here, they don't know how to teach anything, but they definitely don't know how to teach English. They learned English in school, but that doesn't mean they know how to teach it. There's a big difference, okay? So, but
Mm.
you the big mistake people make when they get Hello Talk is they download the app and then they message somebody and they say, "Hello."
Exactly.
And then they're like, "You didn't reply to me. Why didn't you reply to my hello?" Because all you said was hello. If I see you in China and I walk down the street and I go like this, if you don't wave at me, I get it. I understand. I don't know you. You don't know me. So it makes sense. If I wave to you, if you don't wave, I understand. But if I walk up to you and I introduce myself and I say, hey, Homer, my name is Mark. Nice to meet you. I'm from America. I've been here for a couple of months and I would love to know more about this place. Can you tell me more? Now, I'm not asking you for a favor. I'm asking you something interesting about your culture. I'm engaging you. And that's what you
Yeah.
have to do. So Hello Talk is a place where you can find a friend. And that friend, if you build that friendship, they will help you with your language when they can, and they will chat with you and talk with you. And you can develop a friendship, and that friendship can be very valuable in the future. You never know. Maybe you will travel to America, and now you know somebody in America, so you can travel there. And do you know what a big difference that is? If you travel to someplace and somebody knows you there, it's
You
a
can stay at their home.
That's right. Yeah. So guess what? Last year, I went to go visit my friend Gunter from Hello Talk, who's a follower of mine. And he let me stay in his house for like a week. And I stayed in Berlin with him and his family. And then I went to Madrid and I stayed with my friend Belen and her family. And it was amazing. And now I have 88,000 followers around the world. I can go to any country in the world and there will be people who know me.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
That
fun
sounds
if
good.
you're willing to take the time, if you're willing to invest it. But the thing is, social media has made people forget that friendship is valuable and friendship takes time. You have to build it. You can't just ask for it. You have to earn it.
Yeah,
It takes
yeah,
time. So that's what you
yeah.
have to remember about Hello Talk. Now, your question was really a very common question I get asked a lot, which is everybody says that. Everybody says, I live in a country where they don't speak English, so how can I practice it?
Mm,
Well, let me ask you a question. When you do you speak all day in Chinese? When you have anything in your head, do you just say everything that is in your head? No.
nope, I
Most
guess.
most of it just stays in your head, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that means that language starts where?
From speaking on, I mean, in your brain.
Yeah, language starts in the mind, man. So you're asking
Mm,
about practicing how to speak. You're asking the wrong question. If you want to
mhm,
be good at a language, it's not about speaking it, it's about thinking it. So
嗯
现在我就在美国，可是我可以
嗯
练习中文，每天我可以，
嗯
因为我可以想的。如果你可以想的，你可以
嗯，
说的。OK， so
哇，
如果我需要去商店买东西，我可以，我需要，今天我需要买什么东西需要买那个香蕉需要这是非常为什么这是非常贵？太贵了。Right? I just
嗯
think that while I go to the store. I just think that the whole time I'm here. I can live my life. I'm in America, but I can say, oh, 我需要吃，我要吃, you know, so
你
I
的
can
你的
just
你的中
think.
文，你的中文真的很好哎，我觉
就是
得。
还好. But the reason why it seems like my Chinese is good, I tell everybody my Chinese is actually, I speak really bad Chinese really well. But the reason why is because I play with Chinese in my mind all the time. So if you're just trying to practice English for 1 hour every day, that's going to take you a long time to get good. But if you practice for 1 hour every day, plus you are thinking in English all day, you'll get good really fast. Now, how do I know this? How do I know this? Because this is something that every musician knows. Every musician knows that if you're going to be good at an instrument, you can't just practice the instrument. You also need to live music in your mind. Because practicing, I play the drums, okay? And drums are very loud. So I can't play drums all day. I can only play drums a little bit, and then the rest of the time, if I want to practice drums, I must do it here. But if I can think it, then I can go back there and play it. So it starts there. I form the ideas here, and if the ideas are clear here, then when I sit down, I can do them. And it's the same with language. If you make the idea clear in your mind, if it's clear in your mind, it will be clear in your mouth. Okay.
Yeah, what you say is really inspiring, and I think being teacher requires some passion. Like, if you are get bored, like teaching kids or someone like not patient with this language skill learning, they may quit. And for teachers, sometimes being patient is quite important. So,
It is.
what do you think about characteristic regarding like teaching?
Well, yeah, you do have to have a lot of patience. Of course, patience is one of the number one most important qualities. Patience and positivity and passion. Those 3 P's. Patience, positivity, passion. You can't be a teacher if you don't have passion. Because if the teacher looks bored, then of course the students are going to be bored.
Yeah.
The students will reflect whatever energy the teacher has. So if the teacher has a good energy, the students will have that energy. Okay, so that's why a teacher has to have passion. But a teacher also has to have patience because everybody gets there at a different time,
Yeah.
And then positivity, because a good teacher is not going to correct everything you do wrong. Some people, they think, no, a good teacher should correct you always. No, because if I do that, it's like I have a hammer, and every time you make a mistake, I'm going to hit you over the head with the hammer. And eventually you're just going to say, I don't want to do this anymore. This is no fun. You're hitting me with a hammer every time I make a mistake. It's not fun. So a teacher should be positive. So when you make a mistake, I will always say, oh, that was good. That was really good. But let's try to do this and this and this. Let's try to see if we can fix it a little bit more. But I start with a positive. I start with saying, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad. But let's do something.
There's always a but.
Yeah, there has to be. But you start with a positive. You have to start with a positive because, again, teaching is about building up. I'm supposed to be building them up. Yeah. And then I'm also supposed to be the passion that I have. What do we think of when we think of the word passion? What comes to mind? If you have to use an emoji for passion, what do you use? What emoji do we use for passion, everybody? Can you guys help me out with that? Fire, right? We use fire usually, right? Fire. When we see somebody with passion, we say, wow, look at the fire he's got, right? That's what passion is. And what a teacher does is I have fire, and now I'm going to take a little bit of my fire, and I'm going to give it to my student, and then I want them to keep that fire going and build it more for themselves. That is the job of a teacher, is to take my passion and my fire and give it to my student. And that passion is a passion for learning, for curiosity. It's about wanting to know more.
Yeah, or if I off stage suddenly, maybe the
time
Hello
limit.
Talk,
Yeah,
some
that's okay.
time limit. But I think learning language is kind of like require a lot of like efforts. But if you are addicted to that, like you always feel like passion of speaking to someone. For me, like making friends online, it's quite a motivation. Like I met so many foreigners, and some of them become a good friends in real life
Yeah.
because they are working in China as a like English teacher or physics teacher. They coming from Philippines, from Britain, even uh, I know someone from America, and they are also like interested in different cultures. So that makes us become friends, and I guess addicted to this kind of building relationships. It's the strongest motivation. And do you think you are somehow addicted to teaching? Like you are helping others. These emotions build you, like like boost you
Addicted to
like
it. I don't think addicted is quite the right word, but yeah, I mean, it's part of who I am, and it's a very
Mhm.
important of an important part of who I am and who I've been for a long time. Someone asked me,
Mhm.
somebody said, "How old are you?" Because you said you've been teaching for 30 years. I'm 50. I started teaching drums when I was 18 years old at the local music store. And so I started teaching private lessons, teaching music, teaching drumming. And then I
Mhm.
started teaching drums privately at the music school or music store. Then I taught music in four different high schools. And then around 2009, I decided I was kind of bored with music. I played music for so long. I was a professional drummer. I played in bars, clubs. I taught drums, and then at night I'd play music in the bars and the clubs. And that's fun for a long time, but every job gets boring at some point, right? Every job, if you do it long enough, you get tired of it. And so I
Yeah.
played all the same music in all the same bars year after year after year, and I got tired of it. So I had a friend of mine,
Yeah.
he was in Taiwan, he was in Taipei, he was teaching English there. He said, "Come on over." He said, "You can sleep on my couch. I'll get you a job at the kindergarten and you can try something different, you know?" And that was 2009.
Mhm.
In 2009, it was a lot easier. You could just walk in, and if you were a native, they would be like, "Yeah, we'll hire you." Like I had no experience. I mean, I was a teacher, I was a music teacher, but I had no English experience. I didn't have a certificate or anything like that. I didn't have anything, but I care. I cared about teaching, and I did have teaching experience. I just had to think, okay,
Mhm.
now I have to teach English. All right, let me think. How do I do that again? Like, all right, present tense, past tense. Yeah, okay, I remember a little bit, like I had to remember, and then I had to study again. I had to relearn it. Then I went back home in 2010, and then I did get my certificate, and I did start studying, and then I lived in Taiwan from 2016 to 2020, and I was teaching
Oh,
English there in
just before COVID-19, you back to America?
So what happened was I came home to visit my family because I hadn't been home in 4 years, and then COVID
Whoa, you
happened.
are so lucky. If you miss the chance, you may take another like 4 or 5 years to
Well,
return to United States.
that's true. That's true, but it also is not lucky because it destroyed my life. I had a beautiful life. I was so happy over there and everything was going so well, and I wanted to come
Mhm.
back, but then I couldn't, and that's when I started doing this.
Great. That's a quite a good story for you. And like you mentioned, every job and work when you're doing it repetitively and again, the work become tedious,
It
and
can be.
sometimes
Yeah.
you just want to quit, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm also considering to quit my current job. And after I graduate from university, I already work for 4 different kinds of companies and total 12 years of employed. And I guess sometimes I want to have a gap year, like 1 year or 2 year, have no jobs and just doing things I like you being a drum teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched so many TV episodes online, I kind of telling me that I should cherish my current job because it's high pay, it's not so much working pressure, and comparing with those medical, uh, I mean, medical students, doctors, they working under such a pressure. Because recently I just watched a TV episode talking about doctors. The name of the TV show's name, The Pete, and
Yeah,
it's
good show.
always
My mom loves that show. My sister is a nurse, and so I have two sisters. One's a nurse and one's a doctor, and they both like that show. And then my mom loves that show too. Yeah, and that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the most accurate medical show ever made. Like that, when you
yeah,
watch it,
yeah,
it's actually pretty real. Like a lot of the things they do are like, wow, that's exactly what a real doctor does, you know. But you know, in the past, a lot of the medical shows, sometimes the things that they were saying and the things they were doing were really not like that's not what a real doctor does, man. You know, like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So anyway,
yeah. So yeah, when I watch I mean, those shows after watching them, I guess those working pressure is unbearable for me. Like working, I can going through those
how old are
hard
you?
moments.
You're
Oh,
yeah.
I'm already 35.
Well, that's still not that bad. That's still pretty young, in my opinion. Anything under 40 is young, as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
So, what I would say is, what is your job now? What do you do? Finance or something?
I'm working as a reliability engineer, or you can call it a hardware test engineer for,
Okay. Quality. Yeah,
um,
quality control.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
quality control.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, on the one hand, having a job like that, it may not be very inspiring, but it's stable and you're making a lot of money and the stress is not
Hmm.
that much. So, you're right.
Yeah.
On the one hand,
Hmm.
that means that's a pretty good thing. On the other
Hmm.
hand, life is short
Hmm.
and if you have other things that you think you can do, then maybe you should.
Yeah, you should try more.
Well,
Yeah.
let's put it this way. There's a famous hockey player. His name is Wayne Gretzky, and he said a quote that's a good quote. He said, "You miss 100% of the shots that you never take."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah, I have heard that.
if you don't try, you will never know. You missed. So
Yeah.
you already failed because you didn't even try. So try maybe, you know? And honestly, these days, I think that, you know, even everybody's job is, you don't know if your job is stable. You know, like
Yeah, yeah,
every
that's why I mentioned
that's what
that.
I'm saying. Like AI might take your job too in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because AI is growing exponentially and it's becoming really good at doing certain things, and that kind of thing might be
yeah,
that might.
yeah.
So it's good that you're starting to think about it proactively. That you're trying to think about versatility is really going to be important soon. Humanity and versatility are the two things. No, I'll say humanity, versatility, and creativity. Those are three qualities that will save people in the future, in my opinion. Because, for example, people will say, well, many teachers will lose their jobs. And yeah, many teachers will lose their jobs. But if you have to learn something, and you have a choice between learning from AI or from a teacher who's got really good energy and passion, which one do you want?
Yeah, I want some like energy and
Right, right. So
oh,
sure, many people will use AI because it's cheap and it's easy and it's accessible, and that's fine. But I still think that actually, I think that AI is going to make the teachers who do have passion and creativity, those people will become more valuable, not less, because now it will become clear to people. It will become very clear that, yeah, I can learn this on AI, but it's so much more fun to learn it with Teacher Mark. You know, so it's really, it's about that, right? And then any job that's like that. So if you have a quality of humanity like that, right? Music is the same way. Do you want to hire a real band to play at your daughter's wedding, or do you want to hire an AI band? You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, so there are certain things that need to have a human connection for them to really be effective, right? So AI is helping a lot of people with therapy right now. You know, like all over the world, there are people who feel like, I wish I could talk to someone, but they can't afford it, or they feel like they can't, you know, it's too private to talk to people. So they've been talking to AI, and it shows that there is this tremendous need for that. But is AI the same as a real therapist? No. No.
Yeah, I guess AI cannot replace like psychologists
Right.
because
That's what I'm saying, because there's a human connection there. You need that human connection, right? Do you want to do you want a song that's written by somebody who's never been in love? Because that's AI. AI can write about love, but it doesn't know love because it's never been in love. So that song can't inspire me. I don't know about you. Maybe some people, they hear AI music and it doesn't matter to them. They like it. But for me, I need to think about, wow, this song is really sad. I feel this because this person was sad. Like, I need to know it came from a human, that if it's just, otherwise it's just fake, it's just made up, it's not real sadness, it's just the idea of sadness. That's different, right? So, and creativity is also important, because currently, right now, AI only works on what aggregated data, which means it is just looking at all of the things that we've already done and then trying to say, well, here are the possible answers. But guess what? Humans are really good at this thing where we take this idea and this idea and this idea, and these three ideas have never been put together before, but we're going to do that. We're going to put them together. So what did I just tell you? My idea about practicing language in your mind, where does that idea come from? It comes from my background in music. I took an idea from music and I applied it to another system structure. And it works. Okay? So that's creativity. I creatively came up with a different way of thinking of something, and that hasn't been done. You know, so sometimes creativity is looking at something from a new angle. AI is not good at that. AI is good at seeing all the angles that have been done, but AI is not good at predicting possible new angles. Humans, that's all we do, is think about new possible ways that things could be done. That's part of evolution. Evolution has taught us that if you can't solve a problem, you're going to die. And if you can't imagine what the problems might be, you're going to die. So evolution has taught us to imagine the problems before they happen and try to solve them. You know? Yeah. So, so creativity, passion, humanity, those are the characteristics that will save your job if you know, and versatility. Versatility is the other one. And I said, like, I feel fairly safe because I can play music, I can teach English, I'm also a fantastic cook. I can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I can do many things. So, you know, if I move to this city or to that city, I can take whatever skill set I have and I can come to your city and I can do fine. So what
Sure.
but what that means is most people don't think about it like that anymore. Most people, they're connected to their job, and that means they're connected to a company, which means you can't carry yourself anywhere and take your skills anywhere. You're connected to a company. It's,
Yeah.
and that means it's hard. It means that's a relationship. That's a relationship,
Yeah.
right? I'm single.
Really?
Yeah, it means like I don't have I'm on my own boss. So as a teacher, nobody's telling me anything. I get to do my own work however I want to do it. So I can carry my
Yeah.
skills anywhere I want and take it anywhere I want. Okay?
Yeah, I like me. Sometimes you need to stuck to your office in a cubic zone, like in
Mm-hmm.
a small area doing tests, daytime to nighttime and 9 to 5, sometimes overtime. But those teachers or maybe online influencers, they can work from home, no traveling. I mean, no commute, no worry for commute, and that's
Yeah,
so convenient, save a lot of time.
that's true, but here's what you need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Being an online influencer is like being a musician. There are
Mm-hmm.
there are a few musicians who are very famous and make a lot of money,
Yeah,
but the
like
majority.
like a pyramid. Only on the top of a pyramid you can earn money.
So this is what I'm trying to say is that I am a professional musician and I love my job, but I understand that the majority of people who do this job, nobody becomes a musician because of the money. We do music because
Yeah.
we love music, and then we try to make as much money as we can. So I have two friends who work with Lady Gaga, who
Oh,
I used to play with in a band many years ago. I have one friend who plays with Taylor Swift,
holy.
and yeah, so they make great money. Okay, but
Yeah.
but most of the time when I play, I don't make that kind of money. No. I make
I I
much less.
I I remember that Taylor Swift have like bonus for their employees
Yeah, they
more
make a
than
lot. They make a lot.
like
Yeah.
billions of dollars. That
Well,
sounds great.
not billions, but it's definitely a lot. Okay, and yeah, that's the top of the pyramid. Okay, but the majority of
Mm-hmm.
musicians, they're just playing at a local bar. They might be making
Mm-hmm.
$100 a night. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a lot, but that's the thing. Being an artist is not about the money. It's not about the money. And guess what? That matters. I'll tell you why. Because I can't speak about politics and I don't like to speak about politics, but I will say this. The world right now is kind of crazy, and there are lots of things happening around the world that are crazy in lots of different countries, right? And lots of
Mm-hmm.
people, some people are speaking out, but many people are not speaking out. And part of the reason why is because they can't, because if they speak out, they might lose their job because they're in that world. But guess who doesn't work in that world? The artists. So it's the artists who do speak up when bad things happen. It's the artists who say, this isn't right. This is not right at all. You're not allowed to do this. This is not good. And the reason we do it is because we don't have that job, so we are able to speak out. We are able to have a voice. And that's the way
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
always been that way. It's always been that way. Artists have
Yeah,
always been the
yeah.
ones who have a voice to say what's good and what's not good, because it's not about the money for the artist.
Yeah, I guess for artists, I guess most of them are not lacking money, lacking of money. They are kind of financially independent, and
Well,
they.
not exactly, no. Some.
All right.
There is a small percentage of people who are artists who, yes, the reason they're artists is because they come from some wealthy family or they're independently wealthy some other way. And so they can be an artist. It's like a luxury. But no, the majority of people who are artists, they're poor and they struggle, but they do it Do you,
Mm.
Homer, the word passion, do you know what it really means? It comes from the Bible. In the Bible, there's a story about Jesus, and Jesus gets put on the cross, and they put thorns on his head, and they throw rocks at him, and there's all these things that are terrible that happen to him.
Mm.
They don't do it for the money. They do it because they love it. So they're willing to suffer. They're willing to have a lower life that's not as luxurious because they love their art. And they're willing to suffer for it. That's what passion is. Yeah.
Wow, that was a good explanation.
That's true. That's exactly true. That's what it really means. So passion is the willingness to suffer for something because you love it that much, So when you see a
Yeah.
drummer, when I used to practice 8 hours every day when I was younger, because I loved it so much. So I was willing to torture myself with music like that, because I loved it. So, very quickly, Homer. Well, actually, you know what, Homer? I've been talking to you for a while. I'm going to let you go because I want to talk to some other people. But it was nice to talk to you, and please do come back and see me again sometime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice. Thank you for your questions, and hopefully I'll see you again sometime. Okay.
Okay, bye
All
for
right.
now.
Take care. All right. Let me go back and check the comments because I didn't want to ignore people, but I was talking. Sometimes you guys have to remember if I'm talking to somebody, I can't answer you. You have to wait. Okay, that's normal. Okay, let's see. So yeah, once again, I am old. Can I the pronunciation of Tommy? I don't know if you're still here. Tommy, are you still here? I bet Tommy's not here. I think Tommy's gone. Okay, well, Tommy wanted me to pronounce Bear and Bell, but he's not here anymore. All right, let's see. Describing something in English inside your mind every time. That's right. That's the idea. Sometimes you don't have a patient teacher. That's true. That's true. And sometimes your teacher should be aggressive. I yell at my students sometimes, and my teachers yelled at me, the ones that I cared about and they cared about me. I'm not just talking about the teachers who yell at you because they're lazy. I'm talking about the teachers who yell at you because sometimes you need to be yelled at. If you're lazy, the teacher should tell you you're lazy. Okay? They shouldn't just be like, oh, that's okay, don't worry. No, they should tell you, no, I'm sorry. This is all you. You're lazy. Stop being lazy and you won't have a problem anymore. Okay? Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm doing my job for my money, but I'm doing more than my boss is paying me. Right, and that's normal. My sister's a nurse. Every nurse is like that. But nursing is a special job. Nursing is like being a doctor. It's another one of those jobs where you cannot do this job if you do not care about people. You can't. You should not be a doctor if you don't care about people. You should not be a nurse if you don't care about people. You should not be a teacher if you don't care about people. So, you work harder because you care about people, and that's normal. Almost every nurse I have ever met works much harder. They work hard. They work more than they should. They don't get paid enough. Yeah, it's hard. And yes, music is about the feelings, not the machines. That's right. Yeah. Okay. And to my Chinese friends here, 大家好。如果你听不懂我说什么，我感觉你可以试试看，试试看，听一些，OK？You can understand about 60% Jaja, then I think that you're probably in the B1, B2, maybe somewhere level, probably B1. Okay? You put your heart into your job, as you should. Wouldn't the world be a better place if everybody actually cared about their work? How weird is it? Don't you think it's weird? Isn't it weird that we have a place where most people do work that they don't like? Isn't that weird? I'm sorry, I think that's weird. You should do something that you care about. Anybody who cares about something does it better. But we just say, just do it. It's just a job, just do it. It's weird. The world would be an incredible place if we could just try to teach people that you should care about what you do. Okay. Jesus, that's my job, man. If you're able to understand me 90%. Okay, so listen, everybody. Many people say, I can understand you, Teacher Mark, but I can't understand everyone else. I can't understand TikTok. I can't understand YouTube or movies. That's very common. Now let me explain why. One, it's my job. Okay? I'm an English teacher. Shouldn't an English teacher speak well? Right? Probably. They don't always, but they should. Okay? I try to be very careful with my words, with my pronunciation, with my vocabulary, with my pacing, with my presentation. Okay? That's one reason why. Another reason why is because I do slow down a little bit. Because you think fast speech is good speech, and I want you to see that you are wrong. There is no speed in language. What's important is not the speed. It's the control. Do you have control over that language? Okay? So, and then another reason why is because I use really good equipment. Most people who do live streams, they just do it on their phone, but I'm using this microphone. I'm a musician. So as a musician, I care about sound quality a lot. And I am pretty sure that I have the highest sound quality on HelloTalk. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wow, look at that. A picture just came up in my feed from when I was teaching at another high school. What year was that? I'll show you how long I've been teaching. This was it could be 2000. Shoot, I cannot remember what year it was. But let's see. There I am. I'm right in the middle there, in the back. And that was that was when I was teaching at the School for Creative and Performing Arts. That's where I went to school. And I taught drums there for 1 year. I think I was 24, 25, something like that. Hello, Romana. How are you? How can I manage an interview for postgraduate, especially if my weakness and my strength? So, Ala Yusuf, uh, interviews are all about confidence. Interviews are all about confidence. If it's a job interview or if it's a school interview, they're looking for somebody who's confident. So you must show them that you are confident. You cannot look like you don't know. You cannot look like you're not sure. You must look like, I know why I'm here and I know what I need to do. That's what you need to show them, that you are not a baby, especially at that level. At that level, they really need someone who doesn't need to have their hand held, you know? They want somebody who can do the work without being babied, right? Like a baby, right? So how can you take classes with me, Isma? So I have a website you can go to. You can send me a message if you want to, and we can talk about it. But you can also just go to the website and buy the lessons. So there's my website right there. And here is my YouTube right here. And I also have a blog right here. Okay? If you don't know who I am, my name is Teacher Mark. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 5 years, maybe 6. And I have over 88,000 followers around the world who watch me because I teach English. So you can follow me too. All right? I have a really clear pronunciation to compare with my neighbors. Well, where I live, most people do sound kind of like me. But there is another thing that I do that's different than most people. When I speak, I try to speak like an actor. And I don't mean a movie actor. I mean a stage actor, Rustam. Okay, like Romeo and Juliet, stage acting. Because when you're a stage actor, they don't have microphones. Okay, they don't have microphones. And maybe your grandma came to see you, and grandma is sitting in the back of the room, way back there. So if you come on stage and you speak like this, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? No one's going to hear you. Grandma is not going to hear you. But if you say, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? It's called enunciation. To enunciate means to overpronounce the words, to use very clear diction. So, I deliberately overpronounce everything, like an actor. It's the opposite of mumbling. To mumble means to speak without moving your mouth enough, so it's very, very unclear. But if you do the opposite of mumbling, to enunciate, then everything comes out clearly. And I think about language like I think about music. So when I hear myself, I ask myself, does it sound good? Does it sound like music? Is it musical? Does it sound like something I want to listen to? Does it sound like something I want to hear more of that? Right? If I go into a music store and I hear a guitar player, and he's playing something that's really good, it's really musical, it makes me want to go listen to him more and say, oh man, I love that. And now I want to play along with him. I want to engage with him because what he's doing is so musical that I want to be a part of it. Language is the same. You listen to me because I'm trying to make it sound musical. Venom. What about Venom? I don't know what that is. You know what the word venom is really funny. The word venom is related to the word to the goddess Venus. Venus was the goddess of love. The goddess of love, right? So when you're bitten by a snake, it's like poison, and it's like the poison of love. So that's where Venus comes from. 你说什么啊 Yes, 我会说中文。所以现在我教英文，你也可以听我。OK？ 如果你有问题，你可以问我，好不好 ？OK？ 可是你需要试试看用英文，这是英文课，所以如果你要学英文，你需要用英文，好不好？All right. See, he understood me. My Chinese isn't perfect, but he understood. And that's all I care about. It sounded close enough. It sounded close enough to music. He was like, "Oh, that sounds like music. I can listen to that." Can you chat with me on the microphone? Only if you speak English. 你会说英文吗？如果你不会说，不行，因为他们听不懂你说什么，所以我感觉你不行。可是，现在试试看，给我你的问题。如果你有问题 Okay, so if I use Chinese, they won't understand. Okay? And again, I only speak Chinese sometimes because I want you to see that my idea works. I want you to see that the idea I have about practicing the language in your mind, that's what makes me able to speak freely. Okay? I've seen a lot of American movies, over 500 after listening to American rock. There are hundreds of them. Now you're going to watch 3. Okay, that's good. Okay. Lots of movies, lots of music. That's good. How to judge the fluency of IELTS speaking. Linda, go to my website, Linda. Let me see something. Hold on. Let's see. So one way to find your level these days, and one very easy way, is just to use ChatGPT or DeepSeek. Okay, so if you want to, you can talk to DeepSeek or talk to ChatGPT, but you have to talk to it a lot, right? You can't just say one paragraph. You need to talk to it a lot. After you talk to it a lot and write with it a lot, then you can ask it, what's my level? Okay, and if you give it enough input, it will give you a good level. If you don't give it enough input, it will not. Okay? You're a staff member of a piano shop. Well, that's cool. 我是鼓手。我也piano 这是钢琴吗？我忘记，这是钢琴。我感觉。Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, 钢琴. Yeah. So I also play a little piano. But those tools can't identify your pause. Okay. Well, Linda, the IELTS test is a test to show your level. So it's kind of a weird question because what is an IELTS test for? It's to show your level. So you're asking, is there another test that I can take that will show my level of the IELTS? But the IELTS is the test to take to show your level. So it's not really, if you want to know your level, take the IELTS. And if you don't do well, take it again. Okay, Linda? You can take it more than once. You love the Beatles and Guns N' Roses and Nirvana, post-punk, British rock, metal, punk. Okay, great. Okay, wonderful. Do I admire the drummer of Queen? Sure, I do. And Beacon, you have plenty of chances. You just have to write. It's not his fault that you're not saying anything. If you have a question, then write it. Hello from Brazil. The CR7? What is that? What is CR7? I don't know what that means. And Mir Said, are you still there? I don't think you're still there. Gentlemen, 你几岁? 24. Okay, so you did study English before. 对不对？我感觉你可以啊。你可以。Wait. 你以前学英文吗？我感觉你以前学，所以为什么你听不懂？You read the term. Okay, so 我觉得你需要教英文，不是教，你需要学英文，你需要学。需要了。If you like English music， 如果你喜欢英文的音乐，你需要学英文。Okay, it's like if I want to listen to Chinese music. Okay, 如果你要听中国的音乐，我也需要学中文。Okay, movies. Okay, 看电影就是不错啊，可是 that's not enough. Okay? 星期五到星期 no 星期一到星期五，这里我教英文，OK，在美国就是早上的，在中国就是晚上的，OK，所以你可以可以来听我看我学呀，OK，学吧。Okay, next question. How can you speak fluently? You need to go read my article about that. I have an article that I wrote. I already answered this in an article, so here it is. This is how you can speak fluently. Go read that article. Okay? Do Wei. Okay. I haven't heard about Do Wei. Okay. Great. All right, maybe I forgot somebody in my YouTube. Is anybody over here? No? Okay, good. All right, I'm waiting for your questions. If you have questions, you should ask them. And if you want to come on stage, raise your hand. I'll talk to you. Although I said I wouldn't, but I am. But I'm running out of coffee, so you better ask me questions quickly because when my coffee is gone, I am gone. Let's talk to Little Lazy Cat. No? Okay. Little Lazy Cat doesn't want to. Okay, that's okay. You want to learn informal English. What do you mean by that? Why informal English? Why not formal? Language is about opening doors. Some language opens more doors than others. Okay? So, formal language opens most doors. Informal language only opens informal doors. Okay? Here's how much coffee is left in my cup. Not much. Linda. Okay? You don't have a camera, you're using your old phone. Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. A lot of people turn off the camera anyway. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Guys, if you haven't watched this video yet, I would like for you to go watch this video and you should leave a comment. I made this video, it's 8 minutes long. You should go watch it. If you want motivation about learning English, then go watch that 8-minute video. The language of a native speaker, how they speak. There are 360 million Americans, and most of them don't speak well. So when you say I want to speak like a native, they don't speak that well. Most natives, okay? They don't speak that well. So you have a bad goal. You should have a better goal. You should say I want to speak better than a native. From YouTube, yes, my video from YouTube, yes. You like American actors like Al Pacino, Robert Downey Jr., and or do you mean Robert De Niro? Probably. Sure, they are amazing, but they are actors. They are actors. So, Johnny Depp will speak the way he needs to for that movie. Okay? So, wait. 他们是演员，演员，这是不真的，这是不真的。Okay, so Johnny Depp，如果他有那个海盗的电影，他说的海盗的，he speaks like a pirate, okay, but he speaks the way he needs to for every movie, right? So what that means is you need to learn how to speak well. Okay, that's it. Okay, well, it sounds like you have a lot of dreams and a lot of goals. That's good. Good for you. Stanley Kubrick, sure. How can I improve my understanding of English spoken by people who speak fast or have unusual accents? Rodrigo, you need to think about their language like music. So if you've only listened to a song one time, you won't remember that song. But if you've listened to that song 1,000 times, now you will remember that song. So, Rodrigo, find somebody who speaks fast, a video, TikTok or YouTube or something, right? And watch it again and again and again and again and again and again. Like you're trying to listen to music. Like you're trying to become familiar with what does this sound like? What does this sound like? Okay? So, Rodrigo, what flag is that? I always forget. Is that Chile or is that, oh, I forgot. Chile. Okay, it is Chile. I was right. Okay. So, Chilean music. What kind of music do you have? What's from Chile? Chile. Reggaeton. Oh, well, look at that. You guys have reggaeton Chileño. And, okay, so let me put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. In music, there are many kinds of Latin music, right? There's rumba and cha-cha, and there's son clave and rumba clave, and there's mambo and salsa, right? And all of those are different. And if I want to know those, then I need to listen. I need to listen a lot so that I can understand the rhythm, okay? So that's the way I think about language too. If you want to understand someone who speaks fast, you need to listen to them a lot so that you can. All right? Treat it like music. Okay? What do I think about Chinese movies? I just found a great list of Chinese movies that I can't wait to start watching. Chinese movies, movies are movies, man. Some are good, some are bad. Fellini is also good. Tarkovsky, okay. Sounds like you know a lot about movies. That's good. Procrastinate. Procrastinate means you should do it now, but you wait until later. The word procrastinate, pro means forward or tomorrow. And crastinate comes from the Latin word crastinare, I think it means, which means tomorrow. So, or no, to wait. So procrastinate means wait till tomorrow or put it off till tomorrow. Okay? Okay, sharp gentleman. 说慢一点，且慢一点。现在我感觉你说太多了。Okay, and 你不知道什么我不知道。你不知道什么 You don't know what I know. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay. I am talkative too. 我也是，可是，如果我去那个中文科、英文科都可以的课，如果我去课，我知道我需要听 ，OK， 听 ，listen more, speak less, OK， 很好。Okay, let's see. I'm always right. I am not always right. I will be the first one to tell you I am not always right. For sure, I am not. Okay. And yes, I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean, gentlemen, but I think that there's still a lot you can learn. You know a lot, but there's still much to learn, okay? How can you imitate my articles? Ooh, I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean writing? When you watch native English speakers, we will not understand it. Bikan, you're watching the wrong native speakers. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? If you understand me, then you can understand. But you are listening to the wrong people. You can understand people who speak well. You can't understand people who speak in a relaxed, loose, not a more common way. All right? So, the first lesson of listening is listen to the right thing. If I want to be good at music, then I should listen to the people who are good at music. I shouldn't listen to some bad band. If there's a bad band, I'm listening to the bad band play bad music. No. If I want to be good, I listen to the good one. So you need to find the good ones. Okay? I know that you want to understand everybody. You want to understand everybody on YouTube, but you can't. It doesn't work that way. You can understand the people who speak well in the beginning. Start with that. Okay? You don't get me. What I mean is, If you are looking for a model, choose a good model. Sometimes you go on TikTok and you find somebody on TikTok and you say, "Oh, I can't understand him. My English is bad." No, your English might be fine. Maybe you're listening to someone who doesn't speak very well. So you are trying to listen to someone who speaks poorly. And you think it's your problem. Maybe you just chose wrong. You chose the wrong model. Find a better model. Okay? Find a better model. And yes, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for good reason, because listening is twice as important as talking. If you are talking, you won't hear the lion that's going to come eat you. Okay? Okay. Romana says, "I'm always impressed by you speaking Chinese." But again, Romana, don't be too impressed, really, because all the Chinese people, when they hear me, they go, they understand me, but my Chinese is, it's not that good. It's exactly as I describe it. I'm very comfortable using the Chinese that I know, but the Chinese that I know is not perfect. I self-taught myself. I taught myself, I should say. God, I can't speak English today either. I taught myself, so that means it's a little weird. All right? Okay. Do I know French? Parlez-vous français? C'est la vie. Merci beaucoup. I know a little. What is it? Voulez-vous coucher à? Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. I know that song. Bon appétit. I know a few words, that's it. I know just enough French to make French people angry. Is grammar important? Yes and no. Grammar is important if you are at school. Grammar is important if you are taking a test, like the TOEFL test or the IELTS test. Grammar is important if you have a job that uses English. But if you're at the store and you meet your friend and you're talking to your friend, is grammar important? No. If you're at the park and you're talking to your friend, is grammar important? No. Now, does that mean you shouldn't pay attention to grammar? No, I didn't say you shouldn't pay attention to it. You should pay attention to it, but you shouldn't worry about it. So, here is what I tell people about grammar. Do you have a table in your kitchen? Do you have a table in your kitchen? So, if you have a table in your kitchen, you clean it every day, right? You clean it. Every time you use it, you clean it, right? You're not finished cleaning your table. You always have to clean the table, right? That's grammar. Grammar is your kitchen table. You just have to clean it a little bit every day. You're never done. You're never finished. You always have to clean it a little bit more. Don't worry about it, but just keep it a little clean every once in a while. Okay? You tried to learn French, but it's so difficult. Sure, you know, it's so easy, easier than English, you think. So Fatima says that, you know, everybody has a different opinion about what language is easy and which language is difficult, you know. I learned German for 3 years, and I can't speak German well at all. I learned Chinese, and I can speak Chinese, so I don't know. You know, everybody thinks everything's different, you know? You have to do what you think is okay for you. Okay? But yeah, French, the thing about French for me is not the grammar. I mean, conjugations, I don't like conjugations, so yeah, they're hard. But the problem with French for me is the pronunciation. My French accent is terrible. And I don't think I will ever have a good French accent, ever. No matter what I do, I will always sound like a dumb American when I speak French. But I love, there are so many phrases that we use in English, you know, qu'est-ce que c'est, you know, like things like that, or c'est la vie, or, you know, bon appetit. We adopt. There are many French phrases that we've adopted, you know. Yeah. Am I listening to Metallica on this phone? No. I don't even know why I'm wearing these anymore, because nobody's on stage. So, okay, guys, guess what? Look at me. This is the last of my coffee. So you know what that means. Means it's about time for me to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Where am I going? I'm going to have lunch. And then I will probably play some drums. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll play a song. How about I play one song to end? How about that? How about I'll play one song? But you have to wait for a minute. You have to wait. I have to change cameras. So you have to wait. So give me just 1 minute and I'm going to change cameras and then I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere.